from Los Angeles, California, with the mad scientist party hour.
Hello there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name is Kevin Kraft, joined by a man who has wished his pants and underwear off his body and is currently blowing kisses at his boner. That's Jeff Clark.
What's up, y'all?
And transmitting to us from Times Square, the bearded booger-eating ball dropper known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo! Brat, brat.
Oh yeah, we're back. We got one more in store. Last show of 2024. And we have a lot to discuss. Anytime we take 2 weeks off, I feel like there's always some sort of shenanigans we need to report on. I'm still fighting off. I've been at like the last day of being sick for like 4 or 5 days now. Like every night I go to bed, I'm like, right, that was the last one. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and feel fine, and then nothing changes. Still got like a little bit of congestion. I got fucking like boogies in my nose. My nose right now is what some people refer to as a Shuddy Boy buffet. So if I sound a little wonky, I apologize. I got like the second we got to Jersey, my mom picked myself and Carl up from the airport, and she was like coughing up a lung, real gross sounding coughs. I'm like, fuck. Carl got sick immediately. She only stayed a handful of days and then left, and then I promptly got sick right after, and I have been fighting cold bullshit, whatever you want to call it, since. But Jeff, I believe we talked about this on the last episode we did, the last free podcast, right? You going to a doctor and being fearful?
Yeah, that's correct.
And
I was very fearful.
And since then, you have gone to see a doctor. What? Take us through this epic saga of yours, Jeff.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, it wasn't that epic. I went for a physical a few weeks ago. They took my blood pressure. The blood pressure was high, something we already knew. I talked about that when I, after my wisdom teeth surgery, my blood pressure was fucking so high prior to getting my wisdom teeth extracted that the oral surgeon was like, hey, you should probably see someone about that. So, of course, in typical Jeff Clark fashion, I waited 6 months to see anyone. I'm assuming my blood pressure didn't improve over that time, but it wasn't alarmingly bad when I was there. It was high, past the normal or healthy levels. And so they gave me blood pressure medication. And then they asked me to come back in for a follow-up because the phlebotomist wasn't there to draw blood. And
that's a doctor that deals with flowers.
Of course. Did I say it wrong? Because now I'm fucking confused.
No.
You did not say it wrong.
No.
Goddamn piece of shit, Kevin. So I had to follow up to see if my blood pressure medication was working, and my blood pressure had see if it lowered, and then also because the phlebotomist wasn't there during my first or initial doctor's visit, I had to go and get my blood drawn so they could do like my blood panels and see what else, if anything, was wrong with me. And my blood pressure dropped pretty significantly immediately after getting this tiny little 5 milligram pill. So that's good. I still got to buy the blood pressure machine that my doctor recommended me, so I could like monitor it daily, even though I don't really care to monitor it daily, but
really,
whatever.
That's not the noise we hear in the background? That's
No.
just your bungus getting drilled as usual?
Yeah, it's the gardeners just going to town on my butthole. Don't let that distract you guys, though.
So, when you went in, did you tell the doctors, sort of the guiding reason for you seeking their counsel?
No. What was my guiding reason again?
Wasn't it because your ass is fucking horrible?
Well, okay. Perhaps. It was more of my girlfriend telling me my ass was horrible and that I should go see a doctor.
Yeah, but like, did you go in there like, oh, fuck, doc, my ass is horrible?
No, I didn't say that. I guess I should have to see if I can get some fingers in the butt. I was hoping that the blood results would verify my ass being horrible or maybe it not being horrible.
Look, if the flappopotamus didn't say that my ass is horrible, then I don't believe it.
Listen, my girlfriend says I'm pooping out Melania Trumps and they're really fucking gross and stinky. Melina Trumps. Melina? I don't know. She said, I think she said Melina, which is where you got like
the black tarry poop.
Yeah.
Black tarry poop. So I just call them Melanias.
You got Melinas from Mortal Kombat 2 in your ass?
Yeah. I didn't tell them that. I didn't tell them my shit stunk because I didn't think that was relative or that was relevant. Like it was.
Hey doc, I need some help. My shit smells bad.
Yeah. Like what do you say to that?
I mean, that was kind of like the point, though. Like your lady was like, "You need to see a doctor because you're pooping way too much and it smells horrible."
Yeah, I do shit a lot, maybe like 2 or 3 times a day, which, as we discussed, isn't that abnormal, right?
I mean, not really. No, I mean, are you taking like 5-pound dumps 3 times a day?
No. I save a little bit for later so I can just get on the shitter and read my stories, look at my Instagram in peace.
So are there still horrible turds flying out of your ass?
I guess. I don't know. My shit hasn't changed since the doctors. I lit that motherfucker up this morning, let me tell you guys. And I'm kind of proud of it. No, yeah, my girlfriend said that I should bring that up and also mentioned that I think she just wanted me to be more aware of what my health situation is. And because of my obesity and my family history of diabetes, there was a concern that I was either pre-diabetic or should just, I don't know, kind of find out more about that, about my diabetic situation. Situation.
Nice save.
Thanks.
It's hard to take this seriously with your toy in your asshole making so much noise. It's really...
I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. I can't get it out.
If you're not taking this seriously, we can't.
Look, guys, this noise doesn't end until I giz. And I take a long time.
I got high Mexican gardener tolerance, let me tell you, so it's going to be here for a while. So, anyways,
back to your ass.
had to go back. I had to go back for the blood panels to find out what the story was, and I apologize to all the Patreon listeners who've already heard this, but I'm pretty much healthy. I mean, I am a fat fuck, and they confirmed that with, I get some high blood pressure and high cholesterol. It wasn't dangerously high. It was past the green, which is good. But otherwise, all the other tests, I was in the normal ranges on stuff. It was green.
So I mean, you've always been very hesitant to like go into a doctor, get a physical.
That's the nicest way to put it.
You've mentioned in the past that you feel like it's going to a mechanic. So if you take your car in, they're just gonna find something that's wrong, so they can get more money off of you. So, like, oh, Geoff,
you bought into it.
Your leg is broken.
Bought into it.
No, it's not. Well,
and took that blood pressure medicine.
you might want to go. You might want to go get your leg looked at. Go to a leg specialist because your leg is broken. Now we need to put it in a cast. Whoa! But like, I try to go once a year to get a physical, and I feel like especially for somebody who's a hypochondriac like myself, and I always feel like there's something silently killing me. It's nice to go in there and just get like a few moments of peace for them to like take my blood, analyze some stuff, look at my wiener, and then be like, you know what? Everything's all good, dude. And I'm like, and I get like a week of peace before my brain turns on me again and tells me that I'm silently being killed by something.
Dude, no one looked at my wiener. I tried. I pulled it out. I pulled it out in the waiting room, and still no one looked.
Anyone?
What do I have to do to get someone to look over here? Hey, I sat in some gum.
Hey, does it look like my watch is broken? Well, I mean, that's the news that I was looking for. I did not want to hear you come back and say there was some horrible prognosis or they found something.
Can we do a poll and find out how many people were hoping for bad news?
Hey, you never know. It is
maybe
the
darkest MSPH poll ever. Yeah, well, someone put it on fucking Reddit for us.
Oh yeah, it would be like 100% wishing for death. I've never even heard this podcast, but it's the internet. I want them dead. I will take that, Geoff. A non-eventful result is exactly what I was hoping for. So,
yeah, I got to eat more vegetables. We kind of knew that. Got to work out more, and I plan to.
Wait! You plan to? So you haven't started yet?
No, dude, not until 2025. You know how many fucking like goodies I have in my house between my mom, my lady.
But you can't sprinkle some vegetables in there. You can't.
Absolutely not.
What about like
I ate
deep
sweet
fried
potato
stuff?
casserole the other day.
Do you like tempura? Like vegetable tempura? Does that make vegetables good? What about like I know this is probably an affront to you because of how it's sometimes billed on menus, but do you enjoy like breaded and fried cauliflower?
I don't.
Oh, see, I fucking love that.
My mom, when we were out to dinner the other day, ordered fried zucchini sticks for the table, and I was not happy. It ruined my mood and dinner a little bit. I mean, luckily, Bill's girlfriend ordered chicken wings, and I crushed like 10 of those.
I think there was some pepper on there. Pepper's a vegetable. It's also a
mammal. I'm thinking, I got to worry about my portion control. And the best way to do that would probably be eating slower.
Well, know what you don't have to portion control when you eat them. Vegetables.
What's that?
Eat all the vegetables and fruit you want, Geoff.
Well, despite the great McValue meal deal, I am probably just gonna have to do one McDouble instead of two. That was my idea.
What if we like did for like a bit on the show? If we sent you to a hypnotist and they hypnotize you into thinking vegetables taste like chicken wings?
I would contribute to that experiment.
I think hypnosis is expensive. Hypnosis treatment. I don't want any of it coming out of my Patreon portion. I have too many other bills and debts to settle.
We could start a GoFundMe or something. I wonder if we have anybody that listens to the show who's a hypnotist. I don't know why I was thinking about this in the shower yesterday. Just thinking about the Puminati in the shower like I usually do. But I was wondering who has like the weirdest, most random job. Like, I'm sure we have, our fair share of truckers and mechanics, and I'm sure we got a couple teachers, the standard jobs. But I wonder if anybody is like, like a fucking graveyard worker. That would be sick. Or a hypnotist.
Sorry, I wonder what like the most random Puminati job is.
Yeah. What were we talking about before I just went off on that stupid tangent?
This hypnotherapist
Oh, yeah.
is in Long Beach, and according to his website, he can help you gain confidence also, Geoff.
I need that probably more than vegetables.
Overcome addiction, stop smoking, gain confidence, enhance your sports performance.
How funny would that be?
Biting your fingernails.
Jeff goes to the basketball court and just instantly dunks the next day.
Yeah, I'm playing above the rim.
I got hypnotized into a dunker.
Yeah, no more threes. I'm just fucking.
So this guy can essentially
banging on dudes.
This guy can essentially hypnotize you into not. That was a nice one. Being a wuss. Because I'm a wuss.
That's what his website that has not been updated since the early 2010s says.
Oh, is it on like Angel Fire or something?
Yeah.
It hasn't been updated since I moved to California.
LA. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably.
I'm trying to find if any of them have like a price menu like we did for Kevin's mountain climbing, rock climbing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna do that again? Or are you done rock climbing?
I do want to. I mean.
So no, gotcha.
Well, if my shoulder wasn't fucked up, I would have gotten a membership that day. But like.
Gotcha.
Like slipping and then holding on by my arm with the fucked up shoulder was so fucking painful, and it just made my shoulder worse for like 2 weeks. The thing is like that, since we're talking about, our weight problems and stuff, I washed my hands whilst shirtless. And, I'm washing my hands in the bathroom, mirror right in front of me. And it was like an ocean. It was like that fat guy that got shot in the stomach with a cannonball. Like I'm so ungodly soft that I'm just like, it's like someone shrunk me and stuck me in a titty. I am just all titty. It's fucking revolting. It's really gross. And I ate very, very poorly while back in New Jersey. I was eating poorly up to it.
I've been firmly living in Fat Assistan for the last week and a half. For Christmas dinner, not to get too far ahead, we really did a good job on making sure that there was not a lot of options for food. Like we kept it really tight, but somehow we ended up with literally at least 9 dozen Christmas cookies.
Good Lord.
So I've had almost no food leftovers, but have been inundated with cookies since Christmas Day.
Every time I'm about to go east, I'm like, all right, I've lived in LA for this will be going on 14 years in like a week. And every time I would go home, I would be like, oh, I have to gorge myself on the foods that I can't get out here. Where are all the fucking Taylor ham, egg, and cheeses? And like one thing that I can never find out here are those delicious Italian rainbow cookies that are like, essentially layers of almond-flavored cake with raspberry jam between them, coated in chocolate. I've loved those things ever since I was a kid. Very tough to find in Los Angeles. Found a bakery, an Italian bakery by my mom's place on Route 46. Got a pound of them for Christmas. Nobody wanted them, so I ate the whole fucking pound myself. And then I get back, and today, Carl was like, oh, one of your Christmas presents that way overshot its delivery just came. She goes downstairs, brings it up. It's a fucking box of rainbow cookies. So I am just...
Oh, nice. That she bought for you?
Yeah. So...
It's a wonderful gift.
It is just like... I was kind of like, when I get back to... like everybody starts their New Year's resolutions and tries to get healthy New Year's. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a head start. And no. I'm just digging this hole a little bit deeper before I start trying to claw my way out of it in a couple of days. But it's time. It's time. I'm getting too old, and I'm too soft, and a doughy body like this is one thing, but when you compound it with corpse-like skin tone, it's just utterly fucking revolting. It is so gross. I got to get myself out of leaving my shirt on whilst swimming and sex phase. That has to end.
Laura might not know what to do with herself if you guys ever get to a point where you're comfortable enough to take your shirt off in front of her. She fell in love with Donald Duck, and you're going to throw that into the mix.
No, now she's just going to be into Donald Duck with fucking, nice pecs. Yeah, we'll no longer
swole Donald Duck.
We'll no longer be able to do our favorite position, which is the titty scissor. But I think she'll get over it.
I don't like you being I don't know, let's glib about obesity when your obesity is nowhere near my obesity. If I had I'd murder someone to have your size, your body.
My new gatos.
Would you suck a dick?
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, Jeff.
I'd murder someone. I wouldn't suck a dick.
Would you suck a dick to have my body, Jeff? Shuddy, you teased something in the Easter egg. What's? Well, we're talking about bodies. What's going on underneath that shirt you got there, buddy?
Fucking. So I opened this. I'm opening this present from my mom, and she's like, your dad pointed this out, but I made the decision that we needed to buy it for you. It's not as embarrassing maybe as I made it sound, but I was mortified kind of opening this from my mother.
Does it say like big dick and then an arrow pointing down?
No, it's not that. It's not nearly that bad.
It says, I eat ass. I make weed disappear. What's your superpower?
Like, I don't even know when I would, other than this one time to show you guys, I don't know when I will ever wear this shirt ever again.
Way to work.
Yeah, wear it to court.
I mean, technically, I did wear it to work today because it's been under my flannel all day.
Man, that would have been funny if somebody tried to do that prank. You know, and like, you have like one of those woolly socks and you hold a lighter to it and it just flames out. That like wave of flame goes over it.
Yes.
If someone like snuck up and did that to you, and you're like, oh shit, rip your shirt off, and then you're just sitting there looking like a drug addict.
That would have been terrible, but.
No, you're misunderstanding the shirt. I make weed disappear because I throw it out in the trash when I see it.
I'm a gardener.
Yeah.
It means weeds. But no, she bought it. So the mall here, which I'm sure you said Rockaway, when I saw you said Rockaway Mall was pretty sparse. So I'm sure there's one of those t-shirt shops that does the heat transfer off of it, like they have at the beach.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
When your body warms up, it changes color? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Where you have a wall of designs and you say, I want that one, and then they iron it onto the shirt.
Okay, yeah.
That's what the kind of shop my mother bought this in at the mall and thought it was a good idea.
Oh, so like the lettering on it feels like electrical tape?
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite that bad, but yes, that's exactly.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't get you a shirt that says, I eat ass or something.
Like the shirt that Mikey wore to the bachelor party that said,
yeah.
Who ate all the pussy?
Great shirt. Great shirt.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Man, so as mentioned, I went back to Jersey for 2 weeks, and the adventure started before I even left. Fucking Carl and I got on one of those jumbo Boeings. I don't know if it's a 747, but like the one that has like a row of 3, an aisle, a row of 4, an aisle, and then another row of 3. And we took, when we were picking our seats, somebody had already got in the window, but we found 2 seats together. So she gets the aisle, I get the middle. We board the plane. Nobody's sitting there, and we're waiting, and And I'm just like looking at all these people. I'm like, oh, which one of you motherfuckers is it going to be? Who's it going to be? And then I saw this enormous monster of a man walking down the aisle. And I was like, that's the one. That is the one. And as he gets closer...
Is he bigger? Is he bigger than me?
Geoff, he makes you look like fucking, I don't know, Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Nice. I gotta hang out with this guy more often. Or I gotta hang out with this guy.
I see him like looking at the numbers on the things, and I'm like, don't even bother. Like, I'll just raise my hand. You're fucking sitting next to me. And of course, he was sitting next to me. And, Carl and I, not due to his weight, just due to how small plane seats are, we both get up, we'll get out into the aisle so he can get in. He sits down and filled the seat like pouring milk into a glass. Like every bit of him was pressed up against the seat in front of him. And then I look down and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to... Where? God damn it. And I look at Carl, and of course she's giggling.
Sitting on his lap.
So I don't know how he did it, but he got the armrest down between us. Like, it was up in between the two seats. He grabs it, puts it down, and then it vanishes.
I get it why. I know how that feels, and if I can get the arm seat down, it's like, oh, I'm cool. I'm good here.
But
I'm good.
It was not good. This was like if you tried to stop a fucking tsunami wave with a tennis racket. It just vanished. And I'm like, dude, this isn't helping me at all. I don't know if it's helping you, but there's no fucking way that can be comfortable. It's like splitting your liver.
Didn't blow off, did it?
No, but
it just breaks.
I've never seen a seat sweat before.
The seat called one of the flight attendants.
Was he at least a pleasant person?
He was. He was nice about it. And he tried to smooth things over by offering me a piece of gum. Which...
I do that too, actually. Wow, this is a fat guy move, huh? All right.
Sorry I'm so fat, but here's some gum.
Yeah. I mean, help with the ears popping.
So I just have to take my seat. I sit next to this guy, and he is taking 35 to 40% of my seat. So the only way I can fit is like turning on my side. So I'm like, I kind of have like my ass pressed up against this guy because everything else is just muscling me out.
He's taking as much of your seat as Carl has seat to spare. So why didn't you guys just put the armrest up between you?
We did, Shuddy. And guess what? Didn't make a difference. I was still completely squished over. His foot had nowhere to go but underneath my seat. And it's like, obviously, this is just a day in the life of this guy. Like, he's a fucking very, very large man. I'm sure lots of things are more difficult when you're that big. He was jaw-droppingly big. But
it's not easy.
It's also like, come on, man. If you're taking up more than one seat, you gotta get two seats. Like, everybody else on this fucking seat got a full seat. How come I only get a half? I paid for my seat like everybody else. Like, there's got to be, I don't know how, I don't know what the solution is here because they have less flights now. So it's almost a guarantee that every flight is going to be full, especially when you're traveling between two, giant cities, two major cities.
Over a holiday, yeah.
Yeah, so like you don't have to step on a scale when you're at home on your laptop buying a ticket, but like, come on, like there's got to be some sort of common sense put in here because again, like it sucks that this guy's so gigantic, but like it still also sucks for me. That was a long flight across the country, and of course we sit down, they close the fucking door, and then they're like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have some bad news here. There seems to be some sort of fluid leaking out of the cargo hold, so we're going to have our technicians take a look at that. And I'm still, like, fucking Paul Wall sitting sideways, squished. By the time the plane landed and we got up, I had like severe back pain from just sitting twisted for like fucking 7 hours. Just that was when I was like, Jesus Christ, this is probably not going to go well. But
so he was sitting on the inside. Why did you put him all the way on the inside, not all the way on the outside?
Well, I mean, the rest
in
of it was
case you wanted to
still
go to the bathroom.
Then I just lose 40% of the other side of the seat.
Yeah, I guess. I just think maybe it'd be easier for him to like lean into the aisle and make everyone who passes him a little bit uncomfortable, and maybe that can ease the spatial burden you're bearing.
I mean, if they come by with those drink carts and stuff, it would have sheared him like
fuck that guy.
like a fucking sliced ham in a deli slicer.
It gets like stuck on him on his fat, and she's gonna like push it through.
Get a running start and shoulder check it.
Yeah, it's like you're breaking down a door.
It did remind me of that time when you told that story about how there was a guy in the window seat and he was like way, way, way bigger than you, and then you had the aisle seat, and then this woman showed up and she had the center seat, and she was like, "Oh hell no, fuck no, flight attendant."
No, it was. That's pretty similar to how it happened, but it was actually like a fat guy all the way on the inside, her all the way on the outside, and there was like no other seats. I was like the last person on the plane. I was like, can I, or not, I guess that wasn't the case, but I was one of the last people on the plane. It's like, can I get that one? She's like, no, this can't happen. No. Yeah, you can take this seat. I'm going to go find somewhere else to sit. And I feel like that was like 50 pounds ago, maybe. So if she saw me now, she might fucking scream in terror at that situation.
I'm telling you,
Situation.
The guy that I was sitting next to made you look like Timothy Chalamet. Like, not only was he just like very, very large, and obese, but he was also like 7 feet tall.
Did you hear him breathing and stuff?
Oh, yeah. He was making all sorts of crazy noises. And it was very twitchy.
His belly was gurgling.
He was very twitchy. And like, I'm like, like half of my body is just like pressed up against half of his body. So like our fucking sweat is like commingling. It was fucking terrible.
It's a bummer.
Yeah. Well.
So you were in between him and Carl, I'm assuming. You were in the middle seat, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Does she have an unpleasant experience because of this, or did you just bitch to her and she's like, I don't know?
No, I mean, I was mushed up against her. It wasn't all sunshine and daisies for her either. Dude,
poor Carl.
I couldn't put my tray down. Like, that's how much this guy was encroached into my seat. I could not put my tray down. I had to use Carl's.
You're not taking this well, huh?
I mean, it sucks. Like, again, I get it. I'm not trying to like shit on this guy, but like there has to be some sort of a solution. It's just fucked to like.
Ozempic.
I don't even understand how this guy like could feel comfortable with that. Like, even if he got an entire row to himself, he was still up against the seat in front of him. Like, the person sitting in front of him couldn't put their seat back at all. It was wild. But anyway, get to Jersey. And obviously one of the things that I was most curious about was this drone shit that's been all over the news. And I'm just like, all right, is this just people overreacting? Are people clutching their pearls? Is it a bunch of fucking Jersey dum-dums looking at planes and stars and be like, dude, that's a drone? But no. I can report personally, 100% there are drones, even above my mom's place, which is in bumfuck nowhere, New Jersey. And
did it continue all throughout? Was it still going on Friday night before you left?
I did not see too many more after that, but that's only because it was really like foggy and stuff and cloudy. So
The weather has been shitty.
yeah, I couldn't. I don't know if you would have been able to see them. That was just like the one night that was clear. But I actually know there was one night where I went outside to smoke a joint, and I looked up, and it was kind of clear, and I didn't see anything. And then I kind of thought, like, all right, maybe this whole thing has run its course. But I saw somebody on Facebook post that they were still seeing them above their house, and it was weird too, because like, you know, it was the night that I invited people over, so like my Jersey homies were there. Shuddy Boy came out, and you know, we were drinking, goofing off, and went outside to smoke a little bit and see multiple drones, and like you could tell that they weren't planes, and they were like coming back and forth. Like you could see that they were clearly following a pattern, and planes don't just like U-turn in midair, you know? So it was kind of like, all right, so there are fucking these mystery drones. Everybody claims they don't know what they are and they don't know what's happening. But clearly if it was a threat, they would be shot down, you'd think, right?
You would hope.
At least approached with helicopters, because
That's what I pay taxes for.
I hear that people are seeing them in other states too. Like they're seeing them in Pennsylvania, they're seeing them in Connecticut. My grandma, I saw her on my dad's side of the family, and she said there were 4 over her house on a previous night. So it is weird that these fucking things are there, like, and the fact that the general public isn't being told what they are, and if we take the government at their word and they don't know what they are, very fucking weird. I mean, I don't really think that they're anything sinister. Like, what could they possibly want with, you know, my mom's neighborhood in the fucking middle of nowhere, New Jersey, you know?
Yeah.
Is it like Pokemon Go? Like,
Why not like the barometer of the average human?
Yeah, but it's for real. I can personally attest, as can Shuddy Boy, we did see drones. And then,
yes, a lot of them.
As we're hanging out, my mom is, catching up with everybody, and she's making herself some drinks. Oddly enough, my mom's go-to beverage, vodka and Red Bull. I don't know why. She's not exactly a clubber.
And when Kevin says vodka and Red Bull, he means vodka with a splash of the bull.
Yeah.
Like, she was filling, like, granted there was a bunch of ice in it, but she had a pint glass filled with ice that she was filling 3/4 of the way with vodka and then putting a little bit of Red Bull on top. She went hard.
Oh yeah.
She always does when we're around. I think we bring out the worst in Helen.
No, I mean, my mom just gets caught up in the vibe. If like people are getting loose and partying, she's like, "Oh, I want to get fucked up." So, you know, I was just drinking beers. I didn't even catch a buzz, I don't think. I only had a handful of beers. Not even. They maybe like 3 or 4. And
those 2 seltzers I had gave me a pretty good buzz with how little I drink these days.
yeah, I think like 3 or 4 beers. Didn't really do much to me. But it was just fun bullshitting and telling stories. And, you know, my mom starts fucking getting all embarrassing and over speaking, and she's fucking telling people that I used to keep a journal and she read it, and I'm just like, Mom, you gotta shut up. You gotta shut up. I was like, you shut the fuck up. Because, like, we were like telling jokes about how, like, I made a joke about how, you know, my dad was an addict, so I tried ketamine when I was young. Like, it was huge in my school, like to the point where people were fucking ripping off vets to get like vials of ketamine and shit. But like, I did the teensiest, tiniest, littlest fucking amount. I didn't even feel it. And she heard it over the fucking intercom in our apartment building. Like, my mom is such a fucking snoop. She was sitting there hitting the button to listen and heard me and my friend talking. And my idiot friend tells one of our neighbors that we just did ketamine. So they're all like, all right, we have to nip this in the bud before Kevin becomes, you know, a fucking addict. like his dad, and they sent me to outpatient rehab, and I'm there with kids that were like crack addicts, heroin junkies, fucking tracks in their arms, nodding off in group, and like a fucking kid that huffs Glade, he like sucks the fumes out by spraying it into a rag, so much to the point that it warped his vocal cords. Dude was like 13 and sounded like, my favorite drug is Glade. It sounded like reverse helium, like what it did to his vocal cords. And then they go to me, and I'm like, I one time tried like a granule of ketamine, and I've maybe smoked weed 4 times. So the moral of the story was they sent me to this place that was pretty hardcore, and it got to the point where the people running it had to tell they pulled my parents aside, and they were like, we get that you're concerned, but keeping Kevin around people like this might make things worse and give him ideas. So my mom, that was what's kind of like sent my mom into a spiral, and she starts trying, and I'm like, Mom, this isn't like a serious conversation. I'm saying it because it's fucking funny. You know, I had smoked weed 4 times in my entire life, and I'm sitting there in a circle with a dude addicted to huffing Glade. Like, you don't need to like jump in and shuddy me. And she's bringing up my fucking journal and shit, and calling it a diary, and I'm just like, Ma, you got to stop. You got to fucking shut the fuck up. So the night gets on. It gets super, super, super late at night, and 9:30 rolls around, and Shuddy Boy's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I got to go.
Oh, don't say it like that. You do have to fucking remember that I have dogs and I live an hour and a half away. It's not like I live right down the street and I was going home at 9:30. I really was going home at 11 o'clock.
These are what the Shuddy Boy hangs are like when I come back to Jersey. He comes out for 2 hours. He's like, oh, turn into a pumpkin.
I got there at almost 5 o'clock. I was there for over 4.5 hours. Jesus. This revisionist history.
The moral of the story is Shuddy Boy's a pussy. So he goes to leave, and then he comes back, and I forget why the first reason you came back. But there were like...
For drugs.
There were like a couple pump fakes. And then like, I was in the bathroom taking a piss or something, and then I hear Shuddy's voice again, and I'm like, Shuddy, what is going on? And he's just like, yeah, Kevin, your mom fell.
You were in the kitchen. So I'll explain what happened. I forgot my keys or something inside. That's why I came back the first time. But Kevin's mom was outside on the front porch on the phone with one of Kevin's aunts. And she got up out of the chair to hug me goodbye. And she stumbled a little bit, and I caught her. Said goodbye, and she went to sit back down, so I walked away, and I got 3/4 of the way to my car, and I'm sorry. I'm only, because she's okay, and the syrup is hitting a little bit, I hear a whole lot of rustling in the bushes, and then I hear... Karen, you're gonna have to hold on. I fell. And I turn around, and there's Kevin's mom laying face first in the garden.
I should point out that like our front porch is just like this concrete, I don't know, like 3 feet, 3 or 4 feet out.
Yeah, it's maybe 4 feet wide, and what I never realized until this incident, I always thought, because there's a step that's about normal height, right? Like a normal height step.
Yeah.
And I always assumed that the porch was that level all the way across, not taking into account the hill the house is built on.
Yeah, it grades down a little bit. So when you get to the far end of the porch at the corner of the house, it's a bit of a drop compared to where the steps are.
It's like a 3.5, 4 foot drop. So I turn around, I see her leg face first in the mulch, and I'm like, Helen, are you okay? Do you need help? And she's like, I need help. I'm like, okay, give me a minute. Let me get Kevin. So like, I'm standing on the porch. I have the door open, Everybody inside is upstairs talking. I'm trying to stay within earshot of Helen. I'm going, Kevin! I'm screaming his name, and he finally comes over. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, oh, God. Your mother just fell off the porch. I need help. And then everybody fucking scrambles and comes running out of that house. She took a tumble like 3.5 feet face first, fell out of her socks, threw her phone. It was
she had
ridiculous.
My mom had a yard sale in the front yard.
Like the only thing that I'm convinced that saved her from getting hurt was that she was drunk.
Yeah.
So she didn't have any time to tense up before she hit the ground, and she landed with her head about 6 inches from a giant rock.
Yeah, because when I get over there, she's just facing the fucking dirt, literally doing the grape lady fall. Ow, ow, ow. She's like, ow, ow, ow. And I'm like, Mom, can you move? Is everything okay? Because like at first, you want to you start at the most important shit and then work your way down. So like, can you move? Yes. Okay, what hurts? My head. And I'm just like, did it hit a rock? Because I see the fucking rock right there. And she's like, I don't know. Ow, ow, ow. And I'm like, all right. So
what the fuck?
I'm like, hold on a second. So I'm like rubbing her head to see if like there's any blood or if I can feel any like giant lumps. And there aren't. So I'm like, okay, she can move. She's not fucking paralyzed. Because like, if you're drunk and you just fall forward and like land on the top of your head, it really doesn't take much if you just land the perfect way to like fucking get paralyzed. So
listen, I don't think she like fell so much face first off of the porch as she was walking around drunk and misstepped and like lost her footing. And that
we should point out that my mom has no recollection of what happened. Shuddy had his back turned because he was walking to his car, so we didn't see it. My mom does not remember what led to her falling. She remembers hugging Shuddy, saying goodbye, walking back, and then going, ow, ow, ooh, ow, ooh. So she doesn't know if she slipped and fell forward, if she lost her balance, if she thought she was stepping on the porch, but really just stepped on the air and fell. We don't know what led to it. That is going to be a mystery forever. Unless one of the fucking drones got footage of it, which I can't wait for that to show up on Russia's Funniest Home Videos or whatever is happening. But then she's just like, I'm like, what hurts? She's like, my hands and my face. She holds her hands up and, it's dark and I just see blood. And I'm thinking like, oh man, what if she just like fucking sliced her palms open and there's a lot of blood? So then it comes to the point where it's like, all right, well, we got to get you up. You obviously didn't break your neck. We're not going to like fucking paralyze you by moving you. Let's get you up and get you out of the fucking dirt. So she puts her hands on my shoulders. We get her up. I notice she's got like some scrapes on her forehead and her face. So she definitely face planted. We get her back in the house. And at this point, she's just like, ow, 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 my hands, my hands. And I look and it's like road rash. So it's like, when you fell on, on the street on a skateboard or something. So like all the blood that was on her hands is now just soaked into the shoulders of my shirt. And now she just has like scrapes. So I'm like, okay, thank God there. And then it's just like, okay, the only lasting thing is like, does she have a concussion? Which is hard to tell because she's drunk. And she basically just kept saying over and over, like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. And I'm like, all right, I think she's good. She's just embarrassed that she fucking ate shit. And then like me and all my friends had to help her out of the bushes. And she woke up the next day and she's fucking perfectly fine. We patched her up a little bit, sent her back to bed.
And I felt like it was my fault.
Well, it was. If you weren't such a pussy and you hung out with your friends longer, she wouldn't have fell.
Hope you're going to learn your lesson, so no one else's innocent mom has to go down for your recklessness.
So yeah, that was eventful. And then not long after, Shuddy and I got my first snowboarding trip of the season, and shout out to Shuddy and your lady for hooking me up with board, helmet. I got everything except for socks. I brought my own socks.
Well, I had socks for you. You just brought your own. I had everything for you.
But yeah, Shuddy hooked it up, and we just went on a nice, relaxing couples stroll on the mountain.
Oh, it was a very nice day with you. Very romantic. Lots of cuddle time on the lifts.
Oh yeah, one hot chocolate, two straws. It was wonderful. I mean, we get there because it's still relatively early. There hasn't been any heavy snowfall. It's just starting to get cold enough. And it was, I mean, if anybody saw the picture on our Instagram, it's like the only place there was snow was on the trails that they decided to fucking, dust and open. And then out of nowhere, it just starts snowing. And I'm like, oh, well, this is even more romantic. This is nice. And I think on like all the weather apps, it was literally just saying like, a couple minutes of flurries and then that's it. And it fucking flurried all day to the point where it was starting to stick. And I was just like, this is actually fucking dope. I love being on the slopes when it's snowing, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. The conditions for most of the day were fairly decent. But once the trails got really packed and people moving the snow around, the ice underneath came out.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I could feel the ice from the first run, but as more and more people started piling in, you would be like, hear your board scraping on the ice, and then you get to like a flatter area, and then you're just plowing through just like big gusts of fresh powder. And I think on the third or fourth run, I'm looking behind me to see if Shuddy's there, and
it was the fourth because we went on the first one. You followed me. It was on our second run down. You followed me on the new trail. Then the third one, you were in the lead and overshot it and ended up having to go down the Black Diamond.
Yeah.
And then it was the one after that. It was the fourth one when you knew where you were going, and then you turned around to see where I was going.
Yeah, because I didn't want to. It's it's kind of like going on the mountain by yourself if you just fucking blow through it. And I just wanted to make sure, Shuddy was nearby or just see where he was, see if maybe he fell or something. And I look behind me and, a lot of snowboard control is kind of in your shoulders. Because, like, if you turn to look, that kind of turns your hips, which turns your board. And I snowboard regular style. So as I turn and look, my board heel side just drifts, catches immediately the edge, and I was cruising too. And when your heel edge catches, it is a dead stop. And however fast you're going, that is how fast your body slams to the earth. And I hit my head so fucking hard. I felt like I cracked the helmet. Like I was in the snow, just like my fucking goggles flew off. They're filled with snow. I'm like,
I make the turn and I go skidding to a stop at Kevin.
Kevin looks like he got shot.
He's fucking dazed. Helmet's off his head. Everything's full of snow. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
I turned into my mom. I'm like,
ow, 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 oh, stop, oh, stop, oh.
He's like, I turned around and looked for you, and I was like, oh, you caught the heel edge then. And he's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And just fucking slingshot himself back. Yeah, and would have knocked himself out had he not had the helmet on.
Oh, yeah. If I did not have that helmet, 100% concussion.
Day would have been over. We wouldn't have just taken 30 minutes and use that opportunity to eat lunch.
Yeah, I tasted it. Have you ever hit your head so hard that you fucking taste it in your mouth? Like the second it rung my fucking bell. I was like, what the fuck? Where am I? Rattled me. Like I was like, if I hit my head any harder, there's a chance I could have fucking concussed through the goddamn helmet. That rocked. Yeah,
I mean, I didn't see it happen. I just came down, seeing it just fucking covered in snow, like trying to get it out of the goggles. It was, yeah.
Needed a little bit of a reset after that one, but rest of the time went great. It was a good first day back on the slopes. It was fun hitting a real mountain with Shuddy. The only other time we had gone snowboarding together was at a mall. So it was nice to be on actual slopes.
Got to ride the Baff Wax.
Yeah. Baff Wax. Fucking nice and slick. Enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Shuddy was very jealous of my boot size, which bumped me into step-in bindings, which were very nice and luxurious to use. I enjoyed that.
The board I was able to borrow from the ski shop had the extra large Nidecker Supermatic step-ins, and I'm just a couple shoe sizes too small for them to also work for me, so I didn't get to, because I would have given Kevin my board and ridden the step-ins.
Yeah. I never tried them before. They were dope.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin was ready to ride what seemed like it would take me 5 minutes to get into my bindings, and Kevin's standing there just waiting to stomp in. So,
which I don't mind. You know, it's a nice luxury to have them. But I mean, the only other thing, like the trail we kept doing, the second you get off the lift, there's this long, like, gradually graded downward trail that kind of just gets you moving before you get to where the actual trails are. And this fucking girl just catches up to me, proceeds to immediately eat shit, and then, like, her board karate chops my board, sends me fucking helicoptering. I'm like, God fucking damn it, what is this? Shuddy laughing at my ass. Shuddy, you did pretty good, though. You didn't have any really diesel slams.
So no, a lot of my falls were heel edge with my ass pointing up the mountain just from getting too far back in a slide because of the ice. There was that one that I caught the toe edge at the bottom of the mountain that you saw me getting up from my tumble, but it was that kind of toe edge catch where, like, my whole body just, like, bent over, like it.
Did you scorpion?
I was.
Like your heels were close to touching the back of your head?
So I was pointed down the mountain, like I wasn't in a carve, and I caught the toe edge. So, like, the bottom part of my body stopped, and the upper part of my body, like, bent sideways, like the way your knees aren't supposed to bend.
Yeah.
And then, like, the board kicked out from under me. And yeah, that was the most gnarly fall that I had.
Yeah, scorpions.
It wasn't bad. But it was a good day of riding. It's the last day I've gotten to ride, which is bumming me out. This weather sucks.
Yeah, well, I was already feeling sick on that day. So I woke up the next day feeling shittier, and I was like, maybe going snowboarding wasn't the smartest move, but worth it. Still worth it.
Way worth it. Way worth
it.
It was a fucking awesome day.
And then I had to, while I was back east, this got pitched to me a couple months ago, but they wanted to take the kids on a Santa train. And I was just like, God, I'm like fucking Doctor Strange at the end of Infinity War. I'm just, like, closing my eyes, and I'm like, I just went through 14 billion different scenarios, and I can't find a single one where that sounds fun to me. But the only reason I agreed to go is because my sister and her husband were going, my mom was going, and, you know, baby Jack. And I was like, it'll be cute to go and see, like, the next generation. Because, you know, my cousins all have kids, and they were all going. And I was like, I want to be there for that. It's going to probably be hell for me, but I'm down for the cuteness. And it was the coldest day of the whole trip while I was there. I think it got down to 0 degrees that night. It was in New Hope, Pennsylvania, like immediately across the border from Jersey.
Dude, New Hope is like 20, or maybe half an hour from me.
Well, Shuddy, I don't know if you're angry that you didn't get to go to this, but you were spared. My aunt bought the tickets for everybody as, like, a gift, and I don't know what they cost, but I know she, like, upgraded to get, like, a nicer package. So it's like a typical, like, classic train. You know, it's not like an Amtrak. It's like a choo-choo. So it was kind of cool seeing, like, the rustic nature of all the carts. And the second we start moving, you know, there's all these little kids, they're toddlers. I think the oldest kid that was like a child running around for it was like 10, and then it jumped down to like 3 and 4, like real little kids. And all the cousins are together, and they all want to play. And it's, I imagine as a little kid, nothing beats fucking Christmas time. So it was probably awesome for them, and they want to play with their cousins. And this fucking wiener is constantly walking up and down saying everybody has to stay in their seats, like scolding the kids. It's like, you fucking Grinch, what are you doing? Like, the whole point of this was so like the kids could all hang out with each other, and the cousins could have fun, and endlessly just wah, 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 wah. Everybody has to stay in their seats. Stay in your seats. Nobody listened, thank God. But this Santa comes through, and it's like an hour long thing. It just rides through the woods a little bit, comes back, and everybody gets off. It was like what's included with the ticket. You get some hot cocoa. You get a cookie. They come around. Cookie, ice cold and stale. The cup that the hot chocolate came in was about this big, and it was filled halfway. Like when you're about to take your first sip of like a hot cup, and you kind of like go for the baby sips, like you're bracing yourself, and it's just like, wait, how far do I have to tilt this to get my first sip? Like, what the fuck? Peel the lid off. Half full! And then they come back around, they're like, all right, does anybody else want any drinks, any sodas? So a table with some kids at it, we're like, yeah, well, you know what? We want some Coke. Oh, I'll have a Sprite. She comes back with the drinks. She's like, all right, so would you guys like to start a tab, or do you want to just pay it now? Like, man, they're fucking... I know these tickets weren't cheap, and they're charging for fucking cans of Sprite. I get it if you wanted a fucking old-fashioned or something, but you can give the kids a can of Sprite on a fucking Santa train. Speaking of Santa, Santa comes in, and I think Santa might have gotten COVID for Christmas because he was fucking doing these guttural, phlegmy-ass coughs all over the kids. I'm just like, oh, my God. I think my little nephew's got like a fucking loogie hanging off the tip of his nose from Santa. Coughing right in his face.
This is already after Carl left?
Yeah. Carl wasn't around for this.
Okay, so she didn't get COVID by kissing Santa.
No. She got sick from my mom. It's just
she's making out with your mom. That's weird.
There's so many little kids. I'm literally the only adult left who doesn't have a baby. Shout out to my brother Larry. He just had his first son.
Thank God.
And yeah, it's just me left. So all these kids just get fucking sick nonstop. So like everybody that is in my mom's household in that orbit has just, ever since it got cold, has just been fucking sick. Everybody's just getting it and passing it around. And like, I don't know. I thought I missed it when Carl got sick and I didn't, but the second she left, still fighting it off. But yeah, that was kind of lame.
Another thing that drunk Helen kept doing was hinting that Kevin and Carl should start having a baby soon.
Oh, my sober relatives were doing it too. Like
that must be comfortable.
All of my cousins' kids are screaming at the top of their lungs, like shrieking, to the point where I'm seeing cracks form in the fucking glass of the train. And my aunt has the balls to look at me and go, so when are you having kids? And I was like, you think this is the appropriate time to ask? Are you kidding me? I'm going to go home and fucking dissolve my penis in battery acid.
I am scheduling a vasectomy right now. Yeah. I'm scheduling it.
You can't see, but underneath the table, I'm currently holding a Bic lighter up to my ball sack.
Yeah, dude. When my brother's little like housewarming party and I think it was his birthday party as well that they just cracked it out the same weekend since him and his girlfriend moved in around my brother's birthday. Like my brother's girlfriend's family was like yelling during the party outside, like, when's the marriage? When's the marriage? It's like, oh fuck.
This is the last time. This is the last freebie they get. At the next family gathering, they are getting my true responses. I'm going to say you can't.
It's just, oh no.
If this is how they want to fucking play, the next time at a family gathering in front of everybody, they're like, "So when are you guys having kids?" I'm going to say,
are you going to consider Carl at all before saying what you're about to say?
No. I'm going to say
Okay.
you can't get pregnant if you only do butt stuff.
Oh. Sure. I mean, statement.
I think I think you should go to the other extreme and just very calmly and very matter-of-factly say, well, we really wanted to, but unfortunately, I'm sterile.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't swim.
Yeah. And then that'll end it forever. Because then when if you guys do decide to have a kid, they'll think it's a miracle.
That's true.
So maybe, more gifts.
Or just turn it back on them and be like, when did you guys all of a sudden just become fucking cream pie enthusiasts? You guys are gross. I did my first ever visit to the theater on Christmas Day. I don't think I've ever done that before.
That used to be a yearly tradition for me.
I know.
And now it's just the sports are a little too crazy nowadays, so I can't.
I had to save the movie I really wanted to see on Christmas till I got back to LA because Carl was very interested as well. So we didn't go see Nosferatu. We went and saw the Bob Dylan movie, which...
Oh, a complete unknown.
Yeah.
Timothée Chalamet has been on quite the heater lately. He he was a guest, excuse me, on ESPN Game Day, which is like a pregame for football, college football games. And like he did a really good job. Like they asked him who he thought was going to win a game, and he gave like legit analysis in like a polished way. And it was different than everyone else's picks, and it won. And now like
wow,
the dude bro culture. Like, wait, is Timothée Chalamet all right? Do we not hate this guy?
I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. That fucking dude may have sold his soul for how talented he is. Because, like, he crushes pretty much everything he does. I have zero fucking interest in Bob Dylan. I find his music ungodly boring. I would rather wax Danny DeVito's grundle with my teeth than listen to Bob Dylan's music. But after seeing the movie, I don't think it was the most thrilling movie ever made, despite it was very well made, and Timothée Chalamet acts his fucking balls off in it. And not only that, but he sings all the songs on it. So, like...
That's not too hard.
I mean, yeah, I guess you got a point. It is Bob Dylan. But, like, I've seen skits that he's done on SNL, and he's, like, legitimately funny. And it's like, wait a second. You can't fucking hog everything. You can't be, like, really good looking, a really good actor, a really good singer, and you're funny. Like, come on. Like, save a little bit for the rest of us. And I don't know. I guess for a movie that had a very low ceiling for me, it wasn't complete torture.
Was it? Yeah. Did you enjoy it more than Wicked?
Yes. I did. Yeah.
Timothée Chalamet credits Little B, the bass god, for helping launch his career. I guess while he was at NYU, Little B came in and did a lecture or something. I don't remember the full story, but Little B looked at him and said, "You are going to be a superstar one day." And I guess he had like, I don't know. He hadn't even like booked a gig at that point, or the one gig that he booked was like from a commercial, and he was like a nobody.
Yeah.
Ended up being Timothée Chalamet.
It's easy to want to like hate the new trendy guy, but Jesus fucking Christ, that dude is insanely talented.
Yeah, I mean, Dune kicks ass, and
yeah,
like he's good in it. I mean, it's not really carried by his acting, but I can't shit on anything he's doing.
Yeah,
Like I have no reason to hate on Timothy Chalamet, and I'd go see a movie that he was in if uh, peers or my brothers or my homies were like, "Hey, this is pretty good. Check this out." I obviously don't do Rotten Tomatoes or any critics.
Yeah, you just let your friends be Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, if you guys say it's good,
Take a
I'll
poll.
give it a shot.
I did also take my mom selfishly to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Nice.
Which I mean, I'm well aware of the franchise's faults, but Jesus Christ, if they're not enjoyable films. For somebody who grew up loving Sonic the Hedgehog and Jim Carrey, they're just awesome. They're really fun movies.
Let's start with their faults. What's the issue with them?
I would say they try a little too hard to like have to showcase moments of current trends. Like at one point, Sonic celebrates in the first movie by doing the backpack kid dance, and that made me facepalm. Oh, come on, he's fucking doing backpack kid. There's quite a few jokes that land with a thud, but it's still, they're just fun, charming movies. Jim Carrey is fucking phenomenal. It's crazy to be in awe of the talent on display in a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, but it's like Jim Carrey in his prime. For some reason, he just crushes that role. And he plays two roles in the third one. He plays like his own grandpa. And then you got Keanu voicing Shadow the Hedgehog. It was just, even my mom, like, who doesn't give two flying fucks about Sonic the Hedgehog, has not seen the first two and just went to the third one with me, was like, that was really cute. I like that a lot.
Nice.
And then yesterday, because I wanted to see it before doing this episode, Carl and I went and saw Nosferatu. And boy, was I fucking gizzing my pants to that whole thing. Jesus Christ. I don't know if it's going to land that same way with everybody, but if you like this director's past stuff, like The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman.
Shuddy does not. Shuddy is a known anti-A24 guy. Although I think you've kind of reduced your anger towards that studio.
I won't go on the A24 offensive like I do Amy Adams or other things.
Well, you buried the hatchet with her too.
I did. The only reason that she was on top of my mind is because she has that new movie on Hulu, I think,
called
Night Bit.
Night Bitch.
Has she ever been naked? I guess I'll look it up on my work computer.
But what were we saying that A24. A lot of their horror movies I just find really pretentious. I find a lot of their like horror themed stuff really fucking pretentious. But then Green Room is one of my favorite movies. Everything Everywhere All at Once is fucking phenomenal. Marcel the Shell with Shoes was also a solid flick. Like their A24 puts out decent stuff. I just don't think I'm the audience for a lot of their horror movies.
Or they're like
Heretic.
Oh, you didn't like Heretic?
That's the one with Toni Collette, right? Yeah. I didn't like that one at all.
Oh man, I love that one. I fucking love The Witch.
That's the one with Black Phillip.
Yeah,
That one was pretty.
Phillip.
That one was pretty decent. Like, so it's just with Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Jeff's like, wait a second, I saw a porno called Black Phillip. Are we talking about the same thing?
Of the late Patrice O'Neill podcast show, the Black Phillip show. That's the only thing about Black Phillip I know. What's the Black Phillip you're referring to?
Oh, he's
Goat in The Witch.
Yeah, he's Satan in goat form.
What? Why? I think I've seen that movie. I don't remember them calling him Black Phillip. Did they?
Yes.
Yeah. The two little creepy twins skip around holding hands singing Black Phillip songs.
What? Okay, all right. So Black Phillip is a known thing before, besides the witch, though.
That I'm not clear on. I know he basically
How do the
Robert
songs go? Do you remember?
Black Phillip, crown upon his head, something like that. It's
Okay.
very like sing-songy nursery rhyme.
Hmm.
But he's essentially Satan. And like Robert Eggers wrote and directed it, and he basically piecemealed the script from texts from Pilgrim times. So like court cases involving like people persecuting witches and stuff, and like shit like that. So it's very pilgrimy speak. The first time I saw it, I was like, this is visually really cool, but I don't know what the fuck these people are saying. And every time I've watched it since has been with subtitles. But and I was also surprised with how many people I mentioned Nosferatu around had no idea that Nosferatu was like a 1922 silent film, and like he kind of looks like if you crossed a Dracula with an alien, because he's like big, bald, and pasty, and he's got pointy elf ears, and just instead of the sharp canines that you typically see amongst vampires, he has just like sharp buck teeth. And this is just, a remake of a 102-year-old silent film, which, I don't know, I like this guy's stuff because it feels very authentic in the time period that he's writing it, and he's got a good way of... It's not like typical horror where it's like gore and jump scares. It's like, I don't know, more biblical horror, I guess you could say. But holy shit, I was fucking full in on Nosferatu. Carl loved it too. I feel like if you pause any scene in it, it could be like a metal album cover. The whole vibe was sick. I like that they didn't show the actual vampire, like Count Orlok, in any of the promos and stuff. But man, did they do a good job with him and making him fucking creepy looking. And I feel like a lot of times vampires have kind of just become almost sexy in a way, Like they try to do the whole interview with a vampire, handsome, dreamy vampires that you want to get bit by. But like
Robert Pattinson's?
Yeah.
He was in True Blood? Is that
Twilight,
what it was?
Twilight. But this was actually like a very creepy vampire film with like a perfect old school vibe to it. The acting was phenomenal. Like the sets, everything was just done. I wanted to be one of those people that just stood up and like applauded at the end, but I didn't want to be a wiener, so I was just doing that internally. But the second the credits started, I just leaned over to Carl and I was like, "Oh, that was fucking sick. That was fucking sick." And I honestly was not expecting Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp, to be able to pull off that role, because like she did the part well, but then there's also these moments where she makes these genuinely like creepy fucking expressions and just weird like body contortions. I do not think this will be a Jeff Clark movie, despite the fact that Jeff C. Tit. But man, if you like,
Did Jeff see Good Tits?
Yeah, I mean,
might have to be a Jeff Clark movie.
This might push you over the edge, but Jeff also see Dick. But I if you like dude's previous stuff,
what's the dick to tit ratio?
2 sets of titties, 1 dick.
Okay.
And perhaps some butt. But I didn't know what I was expecting, because it's like, man, making a current day vampire movie of a remake of a fucking 1922 German silent film. But it checked all the boxes for me. Potential to be a Hall of Famer, but I will say for now, 4.5 Nosferatu dicks. And let's see what we gotta. Man, we still got fucking ground to cover. Should we? I guess we should point out there was an MSPH Wrestling over the break, and if you missed it and you want the results, they are in the Easter egg, which you get in the audio version of this podcast, aka not on YouTube. But we should, I guess, handle some general housekeeping, right, gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of NFL. Pick them!
Pick them!
Ooh, that kind of hoit.
Week 17
my
is
Christ.
in the books.
That's how long we've been doing this?
We still got a couple more to go, buddy. Still got a couple more to go.
Kill me.
So just to recap, the Week 16 Monday night game, New Orleans Taints versus the Green Bay Fudge Packers.
Yeah. I don't remember who I picked.
You picked the Taints, who got mollywopped 34-0.
You could say they got their fudge packed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the worst ass whoopings of the year. There was conversation the day after if essentially were the Packers being too mean, which should not be a conversation had in professional sports.
Discussing grown men sports. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Wow. Okay.
Then the Kansas City Queefs beat the Schittsburg Steelers. Kevin and I picked the Queefs.
Nice.
Dude, speaking, this is a not random. It is related, but like I wrote this article today about how the Baltimore Ravens are the biggest favorites. I will probably hit that game, right, since they're playing the Browns this week, and that was Kevin's Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, I mean, we'll also touch on them because they also played on Christmas Day. So that's the next game we're about to talk about.
Well, so anyways, talking kind of related more to the Packers being mean and like running up the score on the Saints. I wrote an article about the Ravens being the biggest favorite of the season this week, upcoming against the Browns, and like did like a historical perspective about similar teams. Anyways, in 1966, the then Washington Redskins beat the New York Giants in the highest scoring game ever. It was, I think, 72-41. And the Washingtons kicked a meaningless field goal with 7 seconds left to go up to 72 points. And like, I just thought about that. Like, people were complaining about this guy throwing too much at the end of the game. Like, there might have been like a knife fight after that game. With how like old school people were, obviously back in the 60s. Like, dude, I can only imagine how mad that sideline must have been watching a field goal being kicked with 7 seconds. I was like dying from laughter this morning just writing this fucking stupid article. I didn't even really want to write.
So it's essentially the old Simpsons meme of "Stop, he's already dead."
Yeah. You're kicking a field goal like with 7 seconds left. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, trying to put my head in a manly sports guy head, but like if you're a player on that team, every point you're responsible for goes into your like stats and shit. So if you're a kicker, you're like, "Oh, hey, I want a piece of this action too. Let's beef up my fucking stats. I want some points."
That's true, but no one gives a fuck what a kicker thinks.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Anyway, sorry, it was random. But
and the Baltimore Ravens, the Edgar Allan Poes, beat the shit out of the Houston Texans on Christmas Day.
Oh, shit. Who did I pick?
You picked the Ravens. Jeff is the only one that picked the Texans to win.
Sick.
I bet them too. And it actually could have been a worse game than the Green Bay Packers New Orleans Saints over that week. They got fucking killed.
I was checking in on Twitter throughout the day on Christmas, and I just before that game started, that you tweeted something that basically like was the Texans covering the spread was like the surest bet of the week. It was like, and then your tweets as the game progressed got more and more angry. Like, it was just like, because they got beat, 31-3 or something?
It was 31-2. They didn't.
Oh, that's right, 31-2. 31-2.
Yeah, by far the best part of that game was actually Beyonce's halftime performance. performance. Her latest album was a country album. And she had Post Malone on it, and like they did like a pretty good duet. And like people shit on Netflix's live coverage of the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, rightfully so. There was far too much buffering, but I thought the picture looked great. The halftime performance looked like fucking awesome. Like it was legit a good halftime performance. The game sucked, but
yeah, other than the product on the field, I had no issues with the streams of either game. And the halftime show for the Texans Ravens game was really good. Like Beyonce put on one hell of a show.
That was awesome.
Then we had the pleasure of all choosing the Philadelphia Spread Eagles to beat the Dallas Gay Cowboys, and they also beat the shit out of them.
Wait, who beat the shit out of who?
The Eagles beat the shit out of the Cowboys 41-7 with their second and third string quarterbacks.
Yeah, had I known Jalen Hurts wasn't going to play, I probably would have zagged to try to make up ground and taken the Cowboys, and the Cowboys could have had fucking Troy Aikman out there and they would have got crushed.
So Dom and I had very briefly considered going to the game because before Jalen Hurts was announced that he wasn't going to play, tickets were fairly reasonable. But we both decided that if Jalen was out, we didn't want to go because we didn't think it was going to be that compelling of a game to go to. And then by halftime, Dom was texting me like, we should have gone. I was like, we could not have known that it was going to be this kind of game with Kenny Pickett starting.
But it was over by halftime, right?
I love Kenny
Pickett. But it would have been a fucking fun game to be there watching us beat the shit out of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
He probably would have choked on another hot dog anyway, and it would have been ruined. So
yeah, that would have been in the A block of this MSPH episode.
Yeah.
Or would have been like that flashback in Hot Tub Time Machine where you guys actually going to that game, you Heimlich Dom, the weenie tip flies out of Dom's throat onto the field. Jordan Poyamps steps on it, eats shit, gets hurt, and then they lose.
If we went to the game and Dom choked on another hot dog, we would have had to do an emergency recording session. I would have been like,
from the hospital.
I don't care what you're doing right now. Stop. We need to record. I need to report on the scene of another choking.
Another hot dog attack of Dom.
So what else happened in these pick thems?
The Dolphins beat the Browns. Jeff's the only one that picked the Brown Eyes. The Commanders beat the Falcons. I was the only one that lost that one. Jeff did correctly pick the Jaguars to beat the Tennessee Titans.
Was that his his special ed pick?
Yep, that was his special ed pick.
Bullshit. It's bullshit. That game is hard. That game was hard.
So overall records. Kevin 65-42. Jeff 54-43. Shuddy 66-41. This week's games.
Fuck.
Detroit Lions versus the San Francisco 69ers tonight.
I think Lions would be able to eat two dudes 69ing. So I will pick the Lions.
I'll also go. Actually, no. Nope. I'll go 49ers.
I'm going to take the Lions. As much as I want the Niners to win, I don't think they can. I don't think they can do it.
Well, why does it matter for you, right? I don't think you can. I don't think you can be the number one seed,
even if they lose out now.
Yeah, because the Vikings would have
now?
more win.
Well, no, the Vikings would then take. We own the tiebreaker on the Vikings.
Yeah, but they're 14-2 right now.
Guys,
So if they
let's
win-
not
if
fight.
they- if they-
Let's not fight.
If they win next week against the Lions, they're the 1 seed.
That's true. So the Lions can't lose out.
Like, judging by the line for the Eagles, you guys aren't playing anyone, which tells me you have nothing to play for.
Which would make sense. It would make sense.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer because Saquon needs to get that record. I would love for that to happen. Especially against the team that didn't want him. Oh, Kevin is so over this football talk. Sorry.
I can't even guess at what you guys are talking about.
Cincinnati Bungholes versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm taking the Bengals.
I'm also going to go with the Bengals.
God damn it. I mean, you tease it as bungholes. I got to pick the bungholes.
All right.
Pussy.
Cleveland Brown Eyes against the Baltimore Edgar Allan Poes.
Yeah.
Biggest upset ever, possibly, Kevin. I'm going with the Ravens.
That doesn't get me
what do
more
you think?
points if it's a giant upset. I think the Ravens are going to poop their bird flu bird shit right into the Brown Eyes. You can get infected that way. I've read.
I'm also taking the Ravens. Then we've got the Eagles against the New York Football Giants.
Eagles.
And
We've done enough of these where I know that one.
I want to pick the Giants because I just want them to continue their fuck up of the quarterback situation by them pushing themselves even further back in draft order.
Oh,
because
because of Tony Cannoli?
Well, they won this weekend. They won yesterday, which made them not have the number 1 overall pick. And
so people
another
are
win
mad?
would just cement that. I mean, I would be if I was a Giants fan.
They
Jeff,
can't hurt me any more than they have.
which way are you going? Eagles or Giants?
I have to say I can't pick the Eagles while talking to you. I have to pick the Giants, even though I kind of want them to lose as well. I don't know what to do here.
Well, we're both in the same situation because we don't want to pick the other team, but that's who we want to win. And then the final game, the 3 of us are picking.
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams.
I don't know why, but I'm feeling the Rams. I think a ram is going to beat up a seagull in a fight.
Seahawk. I'm with you, though. I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
I'm also taking the Seahawks.
Oh.
Because the Rams don't have anything to play for, right? They've already clinched the West.
That's right.
Yeah, but they don't want to walk out of that stadium looking like pussies. They want to walk out winners. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
And just to kind of maybe try and even things up, Jeff is going to get 2 special ed picks this week.
Jesus Christ.
Thank God.
The Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Indianapolis Colts.
I take the Colts.
And the San Francisco 69ers versus the Arizona Cardinals.
I'll take the Cardinals. Eat that
Okay.
daddy dick.
And that's a wrap
All right.
for the NFL Pick Them this week.
NFL pick them.
And last order of business, it feels like a lifetime ago, but I'm pretty sure we haven't talked about it yet, right? The Culver City Film Festival?
We have not. Because that happened just before you left.
Yeah. So that was pretty fucking cool. I'm seeing John Cooper play. I guess they this festival took over the Regal Cineplex in downtown Los Angeles. Massive fucking theater. Like it premiered at the Laemmle in Glendale, which was cool, but a smaller theater. And then Smodcastle in Jersey, Atlantic Highlands. Again, a smaller theater. I think they have 5 or 6 screens. But this was like a legit giant fucking theater. And the Puminati the Puminati showed up. I mean, we had someone told me that they drove in from Riverside, which is a bit of a hike. We had somebody that flew in from San Francisco, went with his daughter.
Shout out to Paul and
Yeah.
Giselle, I think.
And then a couple flew in from Canada, an international flight, just to see the movie, which was fucking crazy. Like, I wanted to say that like as loud as possible and hope that somebody from the festival was within earshot. Like, oh my goodness, you flew all the way from Canada just to see the second coming of John Cooper? And be like, oh, what, man, this guy must have some fucking heat on him if people are making international flights to come see the movie. But Jess and Josh, lovely couple.
Right.
Shout out to you guys. It was great meeting you. Went out and had some drinks with them afterwards. Hope they enjoyed the rest of their time in LA. I know they did like a little bit of a Long Beach trip, but I was floored that so many people came from so far away, including other countries. That was pretty fucking gnarly.
Yeah, we can call it an international event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if certain parties have their way, it'll just be other U.S. citizens traveling within the United States.
Oh yeah. Are you guys ready to be invaded and taken over? You guys could be New Jersey too.
Fuck are you guys talking about?
Annex the Canada becoming a state, Geoff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They owe us so much money that Trump wants to just take it over, right?
Yeah.
I've heard worse. I've heard worse ideas.
Repossess Canada.
But
Fuck yeah.
Jordan came out. Jordan's big time member of the Puminati. Met him at tons of events. It was cool seeing him there. Our friend Bonnie was there. It was a nice turnout. We had
Brendan, his lady.
Yeah, Brendan and his lady. Very nice talking to them. They were very kind. Had lots of kind words. Talking after the film in that little rotunda outside the theater door, which I kind of thought we were going to get yelled at because everybody hung out for a very long time right after there where they were still showing other movies, and we were not quiet. But it was, I feel like there was a really good turnout. We filled a decent portion of the seats, got a lot of big reactions. There was this short that played before John Cooper called Scalped, which was really, really good. And I got to meet people that worked on that. They were very nice. And then, their team was there and, they brought their friends to come see it in the theater, and they all stayed through John Cooper. And it got, it was exactly how I wanted it to go. Like, the jokes landed, big reactions, lots of laughs. I think one of the craziest things to me is, I obviously don't want to spoil anything from the movie, but there's a moment towards the end where, obviously when I'm making something, I just want laughs. And it was weird getting audible gasps at one scene towards the end. And I don't think that's happened in the other screenings. So to get like a like a collective gasp, I was like, whoa, that's a new reaction. That was kind of cool. I like that. And it seemed like everybody came up to me afterwards and had really nice things to say about it. Like, people gave me their cards and stuff. The director of the festival was like, I got to put you in touch with these people that do distribution. Ended up winning the best comedy feature at the entire festival, which I couldn't even take the time to count the included. It's like Smodcastle was 3 or 4 days. This was damn near a week, and they were showing tons and tons. Like, I think there was like an online PDF you could get that's like a program of the festival, and it took 82 pages of a PDF to list everything that was included in this festival. So there was a lot of shit included. So it was really fucking cool. I mean, I was already in Jersey when it happened, but one of the other filmmakers went to the awards ceremony and sent Trevor Goober, who plays Clint in John Cooper, sent him like a picture, like, "Hey, you guys fucking won. Check this out." So super, super fucking cool. That was a very, very fun experience. So shout out to everybody who came out for it. It means the world. You know, it would have been very embarrassing if there was a very, very low turnout for that. But I think having a packed house and big laughs kind of let the organizers of this festival know that there's potentially something pretty solid happening there. And it was cool to get a fucking award. You know, I've won stuff for scripts before, but never for a completed project. And first win feels pretty solid.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, you know, it was cool having you and Cheech there.
It was a job well done. I was happy to watch it again. Fucking movie's hilarious. Hopefully it can get picked up. Hopefully you can continue to win some awards at festivals if you enter anymore. But it's awesome to see a little bit of success and hope that there's a lot more coming your way.
Yeah, thanks, man. Fingers crossed. But overall, really good experience. I'm getting to the point now where these public screenings, I'm sweating less. So that was nice.
That's good.
I think I stopped sweating 20 minutes after the movie started.
Well, that's good.
Gave me time to dry off by the time the credits ran.
Do you have any other public screenings forthcoming or scheduled?
No, not yet, but there are about 4 notification dates in January, and then I think 4 more in February. So
notification dates, what does that mean?
That's basically like when you submit, there's like a deadline for where they stop taking submissions, and then there's one date where they just let everybody know en masse whether they got into the festival or not.
Gotcha.
So over these next 2 months should be like 8 more festivals that I find out. I'm trying to browse for festivals that are in different regions and stuff. So if there's Puminati in, Atlanta, if I get into an Atlanta film festival, people there can come see it. I'm at the mercy of what exists, but I'm trying to get it into some Canadian ones as well. So any more public events, if the second I find any info out, I'll be sure to let everybody know.
Would you go to Atlanta?
Well, I would. I just don't know how many of these I can afford to go to. Because it costs money submitting to these festivals, and then if you get in, a lot of times they want you to use their digital DCP provider to show the actual film on screen, and then that costs money, and then obviously a flight and hotel that costs a little chunk of change too. I want to go to as many of these as I can, but I don't know how many I can afford to go to. But that's kind of why I'm selling the posters. If anybody wants to pick up a poster.
For what it's worth, I am interested in an Atlanta trip.
Oh, yeah? I mean,
yeah.
If I get in, I'll keep you posted. We can make a trip out of it.
It's got the kind of diversity I want to be a part of and want to experience. I just love Atlanta culture, Atlanta hip hop. And I feel like I would dig that town. Plus, I'm pretty sure they have the most strip clubs per square capita. I also really want to try Magic City's chicken wings, which supposedly are fucking delicious, on top of it being an awesome strip club. So those are some of my wishes for going to Atlanta.
I only go to titty bars for the buffet.
Leave Carl at home. It's fucking wings night at Magic City. There's a fucking basketball player. Do you remember in 2020 when they had to do the rest of the basketball season in the NBA bubble? Have you heard of this? Probably not.
I thought they suspended in-person games and all the players just picked up an Xbox controller and they played NBA 2020.
No, they did a basketball camp essentially at the Disney World Resort in Orlando, and they just closed it off to it was only NBA people and they couldn't leave or re-enter the bubble, and if you did, you were punished. And this fucking guy, Lou Williams, left the bubble to go to Magic City to get chicken wings.
And no titties though. It was only the wings he was interested in.
Yeah. He was He had to re-quarantine and shit.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen of the Puminati, the final show of 2024. So I hope you all have a great New Year's. And like I mentioned, if you would like to pick up Second Coming of John Cooper poster, you can go to etsy.com/shop/John Cooper movie. There are signed and unsigned versions available. So check it out. It helps me to pay for all these entry fees to try and just get this thing some festival attention. So distributors, buyers, streamers, whatever are interested, and then everybody can fucking see it, which is the goal. So if you haven't picked up a poster yet, who knows? Maybe grandma gave you a check for Christmas, looking for something, give yourself a little treat yourself moment, get a John Cooper poster. And also, this is, I guess, technically not the last show of 2024, because we are about to do a Patreon show, which you can listen to by going to patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. There's the $5 tier where we do the bonus episode every week, as well as Crafter Geoff Shuddy Edition when it's in season. And then the $10 tier has all the individual shows and the game show elements where we compete against each other in Queef or No Queef, or Dragon Ball Queef, where we just watch anime and do book reports on it. And what the fuck did I just watch? Shuddy and Dom just did Zombievers with the aforementioned Trevor Goober. That was a solid one. Lots of stuff to enjoy. So check it out. You can also follow us on Instagram. I'm at Kevin Kraft.
At Shuddy Boy.
And Jeff for Records.
And at MSPH Podcast and at John Cooper Movie. Shuddy Boy, happy birthday to you. Happy belated.
Thank you.
You turned,
Thank you.
What, 54 5 days ago on Christmas?
43, sir. 43. You'll be there in July.
I will.
And don't forget to go to bathsnow.com. Promo code Shuddy for free shipping. A couple of Puminati have already ordered, so hope they're liking the wax, because I love it.
Yeah, I got to take it to a spin. Fucking smooth sailing. I heard some people down at the bottom of the mountain bitching about the snow sticking. Was not an issue for myself and Shuddy.
Nope.
We were flying.
Bitch ass fast.
What else? Oh, yeah, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. And if the NFL Pick Them is not enough sports discussion for your ear holes, check out Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark.
Yeah, recording NFL Week 18, the regular season finale this week. Then obviously the playoffs. Got to get together a recording schedule for golf, which starts this week as well. But until then, it's just going to be some NFL playoff podcasts, and we'll probably sprinkle in some NBA podcasts with the NFL dying down. But check it out, Outkick Bets.
There you go. Do it up. And, whoa. I believe we did it, right?
I think we're good here.
Well, thank you all again so much for listening. But until next time, something